For the final time in the 2024-25 school year for LL League, welcome in 101 North Queen. It's the LL Spring Sports Roundtable. We're here to wrap up some spring sports and wrap up the school year, which has been really entertaining here from August straight on through here till June. We're down to one team left. Manheim Central boys volleyball will play for state gold on Saturday. We'll kind of do a quick wrap on the other spring sports here first, and then we're going to talk some memories and share some thoughts from this past school year, which has been really, really special. Let's start with state baseball. E-Town got through, LS got through. Neither of them got to the finals, but they were great stories.
We were hoping for an all-LL final in
happened.
Class 5A, and what we got was neither team in the Class 5A final. E-Town lost to Upper Dublin 1-0 in 8 innings. LS fell to Shaler 2-0. Neither team had a powerhouse offense, and the pitching's really good this time of year, and it becomes hard to score, and it comes down to who gets the hit with a runner in scoring position, and neither LS nor E-Town got that hit. E-Town's run will be remembered for the Isaiah Shader, Justin Borger dynamic duo pitching performances, just as great as I've ever seen. I mean,
wow.
24 innings, 6 hits allowed, just incredible, and if they just had a little more offense, they might have been able to take it all the way through the finish line. LS's season will be remembered for that win against Palmyra at Penn Medicine Park, where they hit the 3-run homer, and Palmyra was undefeated, so they were the District 3 Class 5A champs. It was a great baseball season. We have great baseball in the LL League. It's one of the best leagues in the state. Hempfield, we can't forget, was undefeated, won the league championship, and was the defending state champ. So they were kind of the story all year, and we had 5 state qualifiers, which is incredible in the top 2 classifications. Something to keep in mind for next year, LS has its top 6 hitters back. Ooh. So the Pioneers aren't going anywhere. They're going to be really good again.
Thank you, Jace. Lax Township girls, oh so close. Lost in the semifinals for the second year in a row.
Yep.
Ryan, do tell.
Second year in a row. They lost last night to Bishop Shanahan 9-4. Led this game 1-2 after the first quarter, and then was held scoreless for 26 minutes, which is pretty crazy considering how deep that offense was all season. It's the lowest amount of goals they've had all year. Nobody has been able to hold them scoreless for that long. So yes, they come up short for the second year in a row in the semifinals. Liv Palmer had 2 goals and Kat Boozma had 2 goals. That was it. They did beat Pine Richland on Saturday 18-3 to get to Tuesday's semifinal, but they are out. They finish as the LL champs, the D3 champs, but they still have yet to get to the promised land where they want to be. So their season comes to an end. They definitely lose some seniors, but they do retain 2 of the big names to keep an eye on for next year is Liv Palmer and Toby Bergstrom. They will both be back. And you can guarantee they'll both be back with a vengeance. We talk about Toby as one of the vocal leaders on that team. They both are, but she is definitely the kind of player you want on your team leading your squad. So they'll both be back. They will be good again. But yeah, they just came up short once again. On the boys' side, we lost the other 2 teams that were still in when we last talked. Township lost to Shadyside Academy 11-8. That was a Saturday afternoon game. They came within 1 goal, like third quarter, but Shadyside they kept going on spurts of goals. They scored 4-0. They were up 4-0 in the first quarter right away, right out the chute. And boys lacrosse it's hard to make up ground. But Township, credit to them, they did not quit. They were going against a squad that had 4 D1 recruits, and Shadyside. I think Blue Streaks are just missing that, like, one more guy. I think Christian and I were talking about that. Simon Bowen had a great season. He finished right around 100 goals, but they were missing that one or two more pieces to really test some of these better squads. And then the other team that we had in it lost on Saturday was LS, who lost to Twin Valley 7-0. Not quite how the Pioneers wanted their season to end, but they still had a good season. They were the 2A runner-ups. Got to the quarterfinals in the States. And yeah, as you said, our lacrosse season quickly wrapped up over the last week.
I think we all thought Township girls would have a shot to at least get to Penn State. And
Yeah, I think the thing that shocked me was I saw, we talked about how D1 is very, very good in lacrosse. Always has been, always will be. I saw Bishop Shanahan beat Hempfield in the opening round. And, it did look like a different team in my eyes. Like they really played. They shut down probably one of the better offenses in the state. So credit to the Eagles. They protected the nest pretty well. So
great job with Lax.
thank you.
Well done, sir. Okay, volleyball. As mentioned, one team left in the LL, Manheim Central boys volleyball. They won their state semifinal on Tuesday, beat York Suburban for the third time this year, 3-0. That on the heels of a 3-0 win over Palumbo and a 3-0 win over Doc Mennonite. Barons are playing great. They get the rematch that everybody's kind of been clamoring for. They'll play Meadville Saturday morning, 11 o'clock at Rec Hall in Penn State. Christian and I will see you there. Looking forward to that. Meadville has Luke Sorensen, 6'7" junior middle. He's on the U18 Team USA team. He's pretty good, and he's a Penn State recruit. Meadville's undefeated, beat Manheim Central in last year's final up at Penn State 3-1. This is the third time Manheim Central will play for state gold. They're 0-2, so we'll see if they can reverse that and give Meadville a match on Saturday. Stay tuned for all of that coverage. Okay, let's wrap up the school year. Christian and Brian are kind of new to our full-time staff, but they've been around a little bit. They know the LL. So Christian, I'll start with you. What's it been like here, coming home and an LS guy? You played in the LL, you followed it from afar in your other gig. What's it been like getting to see LL up close, and give me some impressions?
Yeah, well, I guess first off, it's funny, but in a good way. Coming back home, seeing people, teachers, younger siblings of people I went to school with. And that's really cool to have that community feel kind of come back. But for my prior employer on the West Shore, so I was part of the Mid-Penn Conference, just seeing the different levels of competition and across various sports. Obviously field hockey is a huge thing on the West Shore. It's a huge thing here in the LL. I can't wait to pick up that beat, come fall. Track is, that's kind of where I jumped into the deep end. The spring was track and field, and we had 5 state champions, including, Sophia Rivera winning both the shot put and discus title for 3A girls at states this year. So it's really cool to see just how it feels like going from one level of competition and picking it right back up, coming over here.
It's always weird when you cover one of your former teachers and you call them by their first name for the first time. Like, can I call you Tom? Is that okay?
Yeah.
That's always weird. Brian, same thing. You jumped on this spring with us. You've been here before, though. You interned in sports and you were full-time in another department. Give me your impressions on LL and what this school year has kind of meant to you through your eyes.
Yeah, I think the big thing that I enjoyed, especially with the lacrosse beat and being kind of parachuted into it mid-season, is that I think you're really going to continue to see the LL grow in lacrosse in particular. We had a lot of teams that, they made districts for the first time. They had their first playoff win. You think of that E-Town girls team. They had their first playoff win. They were co-champs in Section 2, but that's the first time that happened. Some other squads that you don't think of when you think of the LL, CV, Ephrata, they made districts. I just think you're going to continue. You're starting to see more buy-in for that sport, and I think it's kind of an analogy for like me jumping into it too and growing my writing. It's an interesting beat that it kind of parallels, I thought, with me now that I look back on it. Shame we're not going to Penn State again on Saturday, because that was fun. That was a fun first-time experience. But I think that's the thing that I'll remember this spring. It's just kind of, that parallel.
Okay. Good to have you guys here. We're thrilled to have both of you. Jason, we were just sitting here for Football Media Day like yesterday. Can you believe it's June?
That was, 9 months and 400 stories ago.
At least. It's been a great school year. Give me
Incredible.
Your memories.
Yeah.
Amazing.
The 3 state champions come to mind first. We had 2 of them in the fall, and 2 of them on my beat, which, you do this long enough, you don't get to cover many state championship teams. So whenever it happens, it's really a privilege. We had Lancaster Mennonite boys soccer, Safiri Amisi with the golden goal. That was Mennonite's first state title since 2011. Warwick Field Hockey won Class 2A. Addie Zimmerman, Breeza Colo, Karis Craver. That was Warwick's first state title since 2000. Like, you think of Warwick as this powerhouse,
Yes.
and they win all the time, but it had been a long wait for that group. And then in the winter, Linville Hill Christian boys,
Amazing.
they win Class 2A. They were forced to bump up, and they just had the perfect team. They played 5 guys virtually every minute. They all fit together, and they had Steven Smucker, a 1,500-point scorer, Drew Tibbins, the ultimate point guard, Giovanni Sejuste, all-state along with Smucker, and there were very few boys basketball state champions come out of Lancaster County in the last
True.
50 years. I think
True.
it's 6 in 50 years, so it's extremely rare. And that was decided on the last shot of the game.
Yeah, it was.
And obviously, Amisi's goal was a golden goal. So both of those state titles were decided at the very end. So you could go 10 years and not see that again. So it was a privilege, and it was just a lot of fun.
Excellent. Okay, couple things that'll come to mind, mostly my beats. Football, LS 14-1. How great were they? I picked them to finish 3rd in Section 4. So they shoved that in my face and went all the way to the state championship, beating YO in the district final. The play Housemaid was ridiculous. It's play of the year.
I will remember that game ending at like 10 o'clock and having 45 minutes to write the
Yes,
story.
in the rain, by the way.
Yeah.
Rainy night. That might be the play of the year in the LL League. House's touchdown.
I think there's no doubt. It might be the play of the decade.
Yeah, it was amazing. Beating TJ out in Altoona. House had a TD run and a TD pass in the 3rd quarter. Fell to Bonner Prendergast in the state final when it was like 6 degrees at Cumberland Valley. That was a cold night, but what a season for LS. They were great. Lebanon girls basketball take a bow. First LL League championship since 1979. After 2 straight losses in the league finals, they get back for a 3rd year and they win it. Kyla Correa, 10th player in LL League history with 2,000 points. She's gone to Delaware. What a treat she is. Great year for Lebanon and their fans. Linville Hill girls, you thought the boys had a year. Linville Hill girls win the CCAC, win the district championship, go to the state final in basketball, and they lose to a really good Guilfoyle team. They were really good, and they're all back next year. Linville Hill girls also played for the state volleyball championship back in November. So unforgettable school year. Linville Hill may get like the School of the Year award, LL or otherwise.
Courtney Good and Desiree Smucker starters on both of those teams.
Both.
Right?
Phenomenal. Phenomenal season down there. Mentioned Manheim Central volleyball. They'll play for state gold. Tennis. Got to see some tennis this spring. Zach Kuiper, the sophomore, beats Cooper Lehman for LL gold. Snapped Cooper Lehman's 3-year run as league champ. Lehman chooses doubles for the postseason. Teams up with Braylon Garcia, the freshman. They win districts and they win states. Good for those guys. Last one. We didn't talk about this kid enough. Gavin Courtney, Jr., garden spot, bowling. He won the league, he won the districts, he won the states as a junior.
Sweet.
Individual, singles champion across the board, and he'll be back next year. We'll pay a little close attention. Gavin Courtney, congrats to you. Last thing from me, get well soon, Trevor Vollmer, Peckaway Valley. Anything else for the good of the order? That's it, guys. This is the last show of the year. Speak now or forever hold your
7
peace.
weeks we'll be back here for media
LL
day.
Football Media Day is tomorrow. So yeah, we'll be here. Get ready.
Wait, what? No.
Yeah, that'll be here very soon. Special thanks for Mike Gross. We miss Mike already. I hope you're enjoying your retirement. He sat in the big chair for many years hosting this show, and phenomenal. Jason Garente, Christian Evie, Brian Markley, Jeff Reinhardt here, LMP and Lancaster Online. Manheim Central volleyball coverage over the weekend. Enjoy your summer. We will be back for football first week of August and everything LL fall sports. We're already looking forward to it. Thanks for tuning in this spring and all school year. We appreciate it. And we'll talk to you soon.